Hello there. Make sure that this live goes on. Just give it a second here. Hello, everyone. So excited you're here. So happy to be joining you. There might be some dog barking in the background, the joys of working from home. So, my name is Laura. I am a fitness, nutrition, and mindset coach. And today I'm here to talk to you about. Oh, I'm sorry, I have to add this in. I'm a standout member. Hi, sorry, I was just editing the notes. You're gonna hear some dogs barking in the background. Anyway, my name is Laura. I am a fitness, nutrition, and mindset coach, and I'm here to talk to you about the three most common and surprising reasons that I see women struggle with diet consistency. Now, I've been a coach for the last 7 years, but before that, I have had a tumultuous relationship with food, and even in my early stages as a trainer. I grew up in an Italian family, and so eating a lot and overeating was just part of the deal. If you weren't at the table with your pants unbuttoned at the end of a meal, then you probably had not eaten enough. Um, we would often eat at night, right before bed. I would always sneak some sort of sweet treat at night, and I was oftentimes, indulging in lots of foods and stuffing myself. And that was just part of my culture and how I grew up. These habits actually followed me into my adulthood, into college, in my 20s as well. I turned to binge drinking, binge eating, and later on in college, much unhealthier and I'm sorry, my 20s and early 30s, much unhealthier habits. I always had sort of digestive issues, skin issues, but I never attributed it to my diet. I just always knew I didn't feel great. But sometimes when you live like that for so long, you just take it as face value and you just assume that's how I live, that's how I feel, that's completely normal, but it really wasn't. My aha moment came in 2013. I was assaulted on the streets in New York City by a mentally disabled man. And, I was pretty much at the height of my unhappiness, my unhealthiness. And I just knew in that moment that my life had to change. I didn't love myself, I didn't love my career. I was eating junk food, I was binge drinking, and I was, using drugs on a regular basis. And my life needed to change. So 7 years ago, I became a trainer. And that's really when I started unraveling sort of my relationship with food, my relationship with alcohol. And that's really when my binging and deprivation cycle started because you're going through so much emotional sort of connection to your food and to your history. I lived in LA at that time and I felt a lot of pressure to look a certain way. And when you have that pressure from yourself with also these past habits from being a kid and college and your 20s, they're kind of pulling at each other. So this went on for about 4 years, and then I met a coach. She's actually my business coach now, and she put me onto the idea of moderate eating and intuitive eating, and that we didn't have to stress about food choices, and that you could go to a party and not be completely consumed with what am I going to eat? I know I'm going to binge. I know I'm going to eat too much. I know that this isn't going to go well. And so at that point, I started asking myself more questions. I started asking my clients more questions because I wasn't the only one going through this. All of my female clients and some male clients were experiencing the same things, whether they were over drinking, overeating, and then relying on things like Weight Watchers or keto or paleo or Whole30 to kind of get back on track. And over those 5 years, I tried all of those. Not Weight Watchers. I did keto for 4 to 6 months. I tried the paleo diet. I did the body ecology diet. I did the swimsuit diet. I pretty much tried everything to get my body to look shredded, thin, because that's what I thought I wanted. And, that's a whole other Facebook Live. We're not going to get into sort of like goals and body image and all that right now. But, I tried all those quick fix diets, and it was really, really challenging for me, and it did not provide a long-term solution for me. So, over the last 7 years of working with hundreds of women and also just learning more about myself, and my habits, I have created a transition to flexible eating, flexible dieting, so that I can have a healthy lifestyle for my whole life, right? Not just for right now. And so today I want to share the three maybe surprising reasons why we can't stick to our diets, or even some maybe counterintuitive reasons why we're not sticking to our diets. And the first one is, and I kind of just mentioned this, excuse me, I'm going to grab a little bit of water. So one of the reasons I see amongst women that we have a hard time sticking to a nutrition plan or a diet plan is because we live in an area of extremes, right? It's either all or nothing, or good food or bad food, or the holidays or summertime, right? There's no gray area where we learn to trust ourselves to eat moderately, right? So I'll tell you a story. I was getting ready to go to Thanksgiving. One of my old trainer friends, and I was a trainer at this time, but still sort of learning how to eat moderately and how to, not binge drink on every occasion. And, I had so much stress around this Thanksgiving feast. And what was I going to eat? How much was I going to eat? Could I control myself? And, I ended up going to the gym that day and trying to do something healthy for myself. But I then overate so much. I had like tons of macaroni and cheese and lots of bread and like lots of vegetables and lots of everything. And then for the rest of the 4 days afterwards, I punished myself. I took out alcohol, I took out sweets, I took out bread, I took out sugar. And because I so badly lost control in that instant, I felt like I had to regain control by depriving myself. And so a lot of women live in this binge deprived cycle where we are struggling with sort of trusting ourselves. So when we turn to intuitive eating, mindfulness, and more awareness, we actually can start to trust ourselves more and make decisions because we're tuning into our actual hunger cues. Do we actually want this food? Are we actually hungry? How full are we? So those are some things that I review with my clients and in my Strong Slim Nutrition program. So that's number one, living in extremes. Secondly, another reason we have trouble with consistency is because our hormones are out of whack, okay? As women, we know we go through a hormonal cycle, not just every month, but every 2 weeks, our hormones are changing, okay? So you might experience around your cycle, or even if you're going into menopause, you are craving either more sugar or more carbs or more sweets. Other things that also affect your hormones. Sleep. If you are not sleeping, you will be hungrier. Has anyone noticed that? Has anyone experienced that? That is huge for me. Whenever I am exhausted, I overeat. If that's you and you want to drop an emoji in there, please go ahead, do so. Would love to hear from you. Stress, okay? When we are stressed, our ability to control our hunger and our cravings decreases. Because when we're stressed, we're in this high functioning, our brain has to function at a high level that we don't have self-control over anything else, right? What time of day is the most common that people tend to overeat? At night, right? Because we come home, the last thing we want to do is worry about how to eat, what to eat, prepare food. We don't care. We're like, glass of wine, box of cookies, box of crackers, block of cheese. I'm over this day, right? So hormones play a huge role in our ability to control our hunger, control our cravings, and stay consistent with our diet. Now, the last thing I want to mention is lack of social support. Okay, so when we don't have a community, when we don't have social support for our healthy choices, when we are cooking up, like, whatever, chicken nuggets, mac and cheese for our kids or our husbands, our partners, our wives, and then we have to try and eat a little bit more healthy, a little bit more consciously. Now we don't have that social support from the people around us that we need in order to stay on track. So for a lot of my clients, finding that social support, creating that social support, coming into a community where you have other people that are like-minded. So going out and seeking out communities where you can share your goals, your fitness goals, your health goals, so that you can stay more consistent. Going hand in hand with this is not only lack of social support, but lack of knowledge, right? And now this could also be a whole other live. And, I'm not bashing things like keto or Weight Watchers. If that helps someone stay consistent and stay on a health plan, and it works for them, then I want them to be proud of that. But it's not going to be a long-term solution, right? We don't want to, it doesn't teach you how to eat when you're at a holiday party. It doesn't teach you how to eat when you're on vacation. It doesn't teach you how to eat when you're stressed, right? It just gives you a meal plan and rules to follow. 3 most common and surprising reasons why a lot of my clients, and including myself in the past and even sometimes now, have trouble with consistency in our diets. And this is all part of my Strong Slim nutrition protocol and methodology, which I have created along with my Strong Slim 360 lifestyle plan. And I'm actually going to be hosting a completely free live workshop for anyone that is interested in attending. And I'm going to be reviewing ways for you and all of us to get that strong, slim, confident body that we've always wanted without diets, without restrictive cardio, and without these all or nothing diets. Now, I know in the past these things might have worked for us, but again, they work for the short term. Sorry, I'm like losing my breath and I forgot to add the link in. So I just wanted to make sure that I was adding it in there for everyone. So just to recap really quick, those 3 most common reasons that we might not be sticking to our diets, our diet plan rather, and our food choices is when we live in extremes, okay? Living in extremes is not going to help us trust ourselves to make decisions in situations where we want to eat moderately and eat more flexibly. Secondly is managing our hormones. When we don't manage our hormones well by managing stress, by managing sleep, by managing things like water intake and appropriate supplements, our hormones go out of whack, so we are more likely to binge and overeat and get off of our diet plan. And then last thing is lack of social support and lack of knowledge. So if you don't have that infrastructure, that community, people that are like-minded, that are on that journey with you, it will be hard to kind of stick to what you want to have in place and have it set forward. So that is all I have for you today. I kept this as short as I can because I know people don't have a ton of time. Can I answer any questions from anybody? Let's see here. I dropped the link in here for the Strong Slim Nutrition webinar. Again, in that webinar, I'm going to be covering my Strong Slim Nutrition framework with you. It's my methodology for helping you have a strong, slim, confident body, confident lifestyle for the long term. without dieting, without excessive cardio, without restrictive protocols. Now, I would love for you to join me. It's completely free. So feel free to forward this to a friend who you feel like could benefit from it. If you have any questions about the program, please don't hesitate to reach out. Again, my name is Laura. I am a mindset, fitness, and nutrition coach. And I am so excited to be sharing all that I know with you guys, because I don't want other people to struggle like me. I want them to know that there is another way to live, to eat, and to enjoy life. So thank you so much for joining me, and have a great night.